Boys, it is week 13, and opportunities like this are the reasons why we play fantasy football. First of all, I just got to get this out of the way. My girls' golfers got me, it's called a Yeti, and I would never purchase one of these for myself because I believe this one was $45. But if you are a tea or any sort of cold beverage drinker and you want to have it stay cold all day at work and you want to continue to refill that, the Yeti is fantastic technology. So I got to get that out of the way first of all. Second, our usual sponsor, the Tesla Adler Whalen Law Firm, no longer is our sponsor. We had some problems with the management, and long story short, they've become our competitor. So what we've done actually is we have a new sponsor this week, and that is No Bra Betty. You can find her counseling, psychology services in the Noblesville area. You can just Google No Bra Betty. You'll find her. She'll take really good care of you and help you with any mental problems you have, or if you're going through some struggles. Obviously, your commissioner is also here for you, but No Bra Betty takes it to the next level. Guys, jam-packed show this week. What I've done for you is I actually have gone through the playoff scenarios for every team. And right here, we're taking a look at it. You'll notice there are 9 teams. 9 teams very much with playoff possibility, chances to play for that championship. And what I want to do here first is I just want to look at this because we have to take a look at not only records but points. More than likely, we are going to have upwards of lots of 7 and 6 teams in. We'll take a look later with who I'll project. But the first team I want to take a look at is a young man by the name of Jason Stuffle in Lollipop Guild. And this year, we've kind of discussed he's done a very good job managing his team, but unfortunately last week his receiver Jordan Matthews was outscored by the kicker for the Green Bay Packers, whose name, he's a kicker, so it's escaping me right now. I'll think of it later down the line. And because of that, Jason, not a great chance to make the playoffs. Here's what Jason needs to get into the playoffs. Jason needs a win over Jesse. He needs Pat to win against Daniel. Daniel, we've just learned, has lost Rob Gronkowski for the rest of the season. So, Jason, better chance. He also needs a Mike loss. Mike plays Trampus, and we'll look at that here in a second. So Jason's still with a chance. Jason needs to win. He needs Pat to beat Danny, and he needs Trampus to beat Mike. Will get Jason in the playoffs. Would get Jason have an opportunity to play for glory. Some other things that we need to look at here, and I want to examine those right now. Other playoff scenarios. Trampus is going to have a bye. His amount of points, his record. Nathan, you'll notice the current 2 seed, Sir Gags-A-Lot in the reach arounds, team Sir Gags-A-Lot in the reach arounds, currently is sitting there with a nice point total of 1261. And the 2 seed, if Sir Gags-A-Lot in the reach arounds wins this week, may or may not have lost a bet to Jason, or he was being a beggar or something. So if Sir Gags-A-Lot in the reach arounds wins this week, he obviously has the 2 seed and a bye. Should he be defeated, he can still earn a bye. Okay, some things that would have to happen. 2 teams have a chance to pass Sir Gags-A-Lot in the reach arounds. That team, Tyler would need to, would need to win and outscore my team, Sir Gags-A-Lot in the reach arounds, by 30 points. Jesse would need to defeat Jason, outscore Tyler, and also outscore my team in a losing effort. I do play Adam Foster's team, who, frankly, I think he has the best team in the league. I think Adam has a great team. He's healthy. I actually think, and I'll project that I'm going to lose this week. So I'm just hoping that my team scores 100, 110, and that I can sneak into that 2 seed and have that second bye. So Sir Gags-A-Lot in the reach arounds, I do think has a chance, real good chance, to get that second bye. Tyler, for him to have that bye again, he would need a loss from Sir Gags-A-Lot in the reach arounds, and he would need to outscore Jesse, or at least have Jesse not outscore him by more than 10. Jesse's scenario is pretty much the same. He would need to outscore Tyler's team or have Tyler lose. He would need my team, Sir Gags-A-Lot in the reach arounds, to lose, and he would need to have a big week, which I know Jesse, he lost a player, and additionally his best player, DeMarco Murray, is out this week. So I think it's going to be a tough week for Jesse to get to that 2 line, but it could happen. Okay. Teams with playoff potential. Okay, these are the teams that are still alive. We have Danny, we have Gray, we have AB, we have Mike, and we have Jason, who we've already talked about. Here's what Danny needs. Danny needs a win. Okay, he needs a win, and he's looking pretty good. Okay. Some things for him to additionally think about that help him out. Adam Brandt and Gray play one another, so one of those other 6-6 teams will lose. Mike plays Trampas, so Trampas the number one team in the league. Uh, Gray. Gray's is pretty simple. He needs to defeat Adam Brandt this week, and I tell you what, let's go ahead and look here at the scoreboard. This might be simpler if you're looking or viewing this rather than just listening on your drive home. Gray needs, it's very simple. Gray is a team that he changed his name of his team to Don't Stop Believing, and he hasn't stopped believing, and he's gotten hot. He's gotten hot with the help of his running backs, and we'll look at that here in a second. But Gray, very simple. He needs to win and outscore Mike this week by 3 points, and he's in the playoffs. So again, Gray needs to win against Adam Brandt, which would eliminate Adam Brandt from the playoffs, and outscore Mike by 3 points, or have Mike lose. Okay? Adam Brandt, very much the same as Gray. So again, as I discussed earlier this week on Monday, I thought that this would be a play-in game, and it's looking like it very well could be. Adam Brandt needs a win, and he would need Mike to lose or to outscore Mike. Okay? So it's looking like good possibility one of those two teams, Don't Stop Believing or Mighty Midgets, is in a very good spot to get in, because there are some other scenarios in which perhaps Mike could also get it. Mike, here's what Mike needs. Mike, you'll notice this week he is playing Trampas' team. Mike needs to win and to outscore the Adam Brandt Gray winner. Or he needs to win, have Danny lose, unless Jason outscores Mike by 120. Okay, so Jason, you could jump Mike in this scenario as well if you outscore him by 120 points this week. So Mike, again, you can make the playoffs, win and score a lot of points, and you're in the playoffs, my friend, my brother-in-law. You win and you score 120, you're in the playoffs for sure. Have a chance for glory in your first year in the league. And you have camp. So let's look at my third sheet of research here. I want to look at our previews, okay, because this is where we really get into the nuts and bolts of what we're going to see happen this week. Sir Gags-a-Lot in the reach arounds plays Mr. Luckbox. And Mr. Luckbox, you had a fantastic year this year. And again, I think if my team can go for anywhere near that projected total, if I can go for that 107.9, Sir Gags-a-Lot in the reach arounds will have a chance to be that 2 seed. Adam, really good year. You know, I know he's bumping this game up to his team. He wants to end the season on a win. And if you just look at his team, you know, just take a second, click on his team. He has a very, very good team. You know, he's got some good keeper options going forward. But ultimately, I don't know how much this game matters, which Adam's not going to tell his team that because he truly is someone who can motivate. The problem is the coaches against him have motivated better than he has this year. Adam, best team in the league, in my opinion. Out of the playoffs. Butt Buddies. Here we got the Butt Buddies. Butt Buddies, again, here's what I'm projecting. Just taking a look, he's lost Gronk, and that's a tough break. It's something you're always playing with fire when you have Gronk, but smart guy that Danny is, he has Martellus Bennett there. So he can plug him in. Certainly won't get Gronk level production. The nice thing, though, is you don't have to choose between the tight ends anymore. So on one side of things, it's actually kind of nice for Danny, in my opinion. And he may not say that, but I would rather have a for sure tight end, Tom Brady throwing the ball, than 2 and having to pick between the 2 because that's a headache. So it kind of hurts the ceiling of Danny's team a little bit. Here's what I'm predicting. I think Danny this week will score 95 points, which we'll get to these point totals here in a little bit. I think Danny's team scores 95 points and wins, and a little bit of a pillow fight, but I do like some of the matchups on Danny's team. I think Russell Wilson, we'll talk about that later. I like Matt Forte against Indy. I always like LeGarrette Blount, and then you can look down his team. I think Odell Beckham and Antonio Brown getting a little bit of a hey, let's go this week. So I think that Danny, despite a couple things that I'm not in love with, hate that Gronk's hurt, I think Danny scores 95 this week, and we'll talk about later what that means for him. Here we have Don't Stop Believing against the Mighty Midgets. And guys, you know, this again, these are two teams that have managed their teams this year. This is Adam Brandt, young man who's been toward the bottom of the league, against Don't Stop Believing, a young man who finished first and second the first 2 years the league existed. And I'm predicting that due to matchups, so just look at Gray's matchups. He has Aaron Rodgers, Houston. Don't love it. You have Carlos Hyde, Chicago. Pretty good run defense. You have Jay Ajayi, Baltimore. Great big run defense. You have another Devontae Adams. So much stock in the same team. Jameson Crowder, Arizona. That's just such a tough matchup. Another Houston there at home for Green Bay. You know, you have Latavius Murray. But I just think those matchups are going to be hard to overcome for Gray. And because of that, I think I'm projecting Adam Brandt to go over that projection, score 110, this week. So Adam Brandt scores 110. We'll take a look at what that means here in a little bit. Gray, good season, man. Best of luck to you in the off season. You ever need anything, give us a holler. Good year, good year. We know you'll be back, and you really battled. You really battled. We can appreciate that in fantasy football. Here we have Luke. Luke against Tyler, and this is big. This is big. And Luke is another one who he has some questionables here, but I think for the most part they're going to play. Luke's not going to quit, guy, because Luke's in a position here where if he would stop playing, he would impact the field. We have Tyler Johnston, a team that I predicted would get a bye, but now he's in a position where if he loses, it opens up everything. Okay, and I think that happens this week. I'm looking at Tyler's team, and he has so much stock in Drew Brees. Okay, and you have Todd Gurley, don't love it. Frank Gore, don't love it against the Jets. Dez could lay an egg. I don't like Larry Fitzgerald really ever, just because of Carson Palmer. And Tyler Eifert, who knows what you're going to get. So what you're looking at, how much faith do you put in Brandon Cooks? I don't put much there. 0 targets last week. Squeaky wheel, get some grease. I like Luke to win this week, but Tyler's 7-6. He scores 81 points. He scores 81 points this week in a loss. Still alive. 7-6. Dab on him. Dab on him, Brady's boys here. Mike, as we said, he needs to score and win, and he's going to get in the playoffs. And I think what happens here is just a solid, Trampus' team, they don't need this game. They don't need this game. And I think they really come in unmotivated, maybe a little arrogant, but it doesn't matter, And I think Michael inspires his team. We're back. Slight interruption by my wife. I actually like Michael's matchups this week. It's a letdown game for Tramp. He doesn't need to win. His guys, he hasn't even motivated them. They're out getting hammered right now. Knowing they can get away from it with it because he's a lawyer and he can get him out of the DUIs. And looking at the matchups here, what Michael has is he has a game stack that doesn't really make sense. He has Cam Newton at Seattle in a tough matchup, but I tell you what he has. He has Doug Baldwin and Jimmy Graham coming off a goose egg of a game. I think there'll be a lot of motivation. I think they can go there. I think they can put some points on Carolina because what we've learned, Jesse's taught us this, is that game stacks don't have to make sense to win, and you might not think at Seattle's a good matchup, but Jesse doesn't usually care because he likes to play Brooklyn guys against the LA Clippers and the best defensive team in the NBA. Trying to speed up here. I like Michael to win this week. Michael scores 116 points. Remember that total in a win. Trampus, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. We'll talk more about the fate of your team near the end of the show. I think you'll really like it. And Michael, I think he gets a win. I think he scores 116, which keeps him alive. We'll add up the points momentarily. Here we have Lollipop Gill. Shake and bake. Great matchup, guys. Jesse, unfortunately, with injuries and the way his season has gone, AJ Green hurt. He now is without DeMarco Murray, and it's a bad week for him. I think he's underprojected a little bit here. And you'll notice that Chris Ivory now projected for 0. I was not prepared for that. Players who I think are overprojected are Reed and Marshall. I don't see them getting to those numbers. Reed now at 0, so even if he plays Arizona, has given up 28 fantasy points to the tight end this season. Hate Brandon Marshall, even against the Colts. He's garbage. I like Quincy Anunya, who's also on the waiver wire. Jesse, maybe pick him up and play him instead. Jason this week. Jason can motivate his guys. And what Jason's team, here's what I'm projecting Jason's going to do. You're not going to believe this, guys. Andrew Luck goes completely ham, most of it to Moncrief. Kelvin Benjamin, he says, you know what, I saw what Mike Evans did to Richard Sherman. Crushes him. I tell you what Jason does this week. Here's what he does to Jesse, and I forecast this. Here's what he does to Jesse. He wins 184 to 83, but the 83 is very important. Very important. Jesse scores 83 points. Jason 184. Okay, so remember those totals. 184 for Jason, 83 for Jesse. Here's what we have, guys. This is my projections. This is it right here. We have Nathan with a bye. That's team Sir Gags-a-Lot in the reach arounds. Thank you for that, Jason. Jerk. We have Trampus with a bye, the 1 seed. Nathan with the 2 seed. Here's what I'm projecting. We have the Butt Buddies, 1,240 points at 7-6. All these teams, 7-6. 6 teams, 7-6. Butt Buddies, 1,240 plus 95, 1,335. They're the 3 seed. They'll play at home. Who will they play, you might ask? I'll tell you, the 5 seed. Adam Brandt, 1,202 plus 110, 1,312. In the other side, the other home team, we have Mike. Mike goes for 1,197 plus 116, 1,313. Who will he play, you might ask? The 6 seed. And as I say this, I dedicate this song to my dear friend Trampus. As I tell you, the 5th seed, Tyler, Simply Simple, 1,311 points. The 6th seed will go on the road to play Mike, just missing by 6 points. Jesse, with a season total of 1,305, you will be the 1 seed in the toilet bowl. Jason, after a 184-point week, barely misses by 51 points, an opportunity to play for glory. It's undeniable, Tramp.